What is up, everyone? This is Nightmare bringing you Hang Time, where we talk NBA Top Shot, the market, fantasy basketball, and all things hoops and hype. We are incredibly hyped here at Whale this week. There is a lot of exciting things going on, and I do mean a lot, some of which hasn't even been exposed to everyone yet. So that, coinciding with the excitement of the NBA season starting, makes for a very interesting episode of Hang Time. As you guys know, the season begins tomorrow night, as well as a bunch of other things relative to Top Shot and the market. So super exciting time. Kyrie continues to be a problem in every possible meaning of the word, both for his team and when he actually does play. Lake Show should be fun to watch. So obviously looking forward to seeing my C's hit the court and what they can bring with some more chemistry this year. Did want to jump right into Top Shot because there's a lot going on. One thing I thought was cool, because I always like to see when there's some kind of crossover with media and whatnot. Ty Halliburton continued to be a big part of the Top Shot community, and over the past week was actually ripping packs within the Discord and became a member of the Cool Cats collection. He was able to flush it out and be part of the Nine Lives Lounge. So that was pretty cool to see his enthusiasm when that happened, as well as the support from the rest of the players and the community when they had saw it. So just cool to see that continued partnership and integration really work out. Let's jump right into the market. So what did we see over the past week? The market cap maintained that level higher than $1 billion, which was key, right? We had slowly been climbing over time. We reached some good significant levels. We breached the $1 billion mark and we're able to stay over it. Obviously, there was a catalyst with the run it back pack, but even after it fell back down, we're still remaining at a healthy level. So that was good to see. Some more metrics when you get into some more of the specifics, you can see here that there's a slight growth from a 1 week perspective as far as the total market cap, but the transaction volume had this huge spike right here. Absolutely huge, $8 million. And that was both people trying to qualify for the run it back drop and being able to participate, as well as wanted to scoop some of the moments from the players that they really enjoyed or had some affinity for afterwards. So huge spike in sales volume there. And that was interesting to see, because we had seen a lot of market cap growth with some stability and just small volatility relative to those metrics. And you can see this absolutely dwarfs anything that came prior to it. But the number of transactions in itself, yes, it's larger, but not to the same degree. So what does that mean? It means that people were going for higher ticketed items. They were going for run it back moments that they thought would be good investments, or even though they were priced pretty significant, they thought they were worthwhile for the investment for a long-term hold. And so that has some interesting dynamic effects that we'll have on the individual sets that we'll see in a moment. So like we just talked about, if you look here at the change week over week, we actually see a drop in the base sets, right? So base set 1 and base set 2 down about 10%. That's after posting about 10% growth. So some fluctuation there, but the market is still healthy. It was people choosing to put the money that they were participating in the market with into these higher dollar ring items, these higher dollar ring moments. Likewise, there was another slight trickle up of users, and so we still haven't breached that 600,000 user mark. I guess that's the next milestone that we should shoot for, but being that we're at the start of the NBA season and a lot of the things that Top Shot is doing, much to the chagrin of much of the community, but they're doing a lot of things to pull in new users. So that coinciding with the start of the NBA season, we should see some movement, and that's really the metric that I'm looking to see move significantly over this season and this Series 3 launch. The Whale Vault itself remained healthy. We're still above the $36 million mark. I think at our last check-in, we were 36.5. So a slight change here. If we look at evaluate market as another metric, we are exactly the same as where it was last week. So we're at $43.5 million. And that's been consistent for 3 or 4 weeks now for the methodology that they use here. And as you guys know, I just have my anecdotal, my own gauge of the market, these 2 particular moments that I continue to kick myself for not scooping when they were really cheap. So the Ty Halliburton is 375 right now. It was 379 last week. Again, when I was waffling and debating whether or not to pick this up. It was $148. The Series 1 Jokic is $126. So that's actually a slight decline from where it was. I believe it was $150 last time we took a look. So again, we looked at base sets and how that had some declines because people were putting their and rotating their capital into these higher ticketed moments at the you know at the current state of the market and what was going on with run it back. So I'm not too concerned about that, especially in that the tie had retained and actually gained a little bit of value. So things still looking good as far as the total market goes. And if you look at the individual sets, I just thought this was interesting, to what we were just talking about, significant uptick in value for Run It Back and some of the other higher tiered series there. What's falling off? Vintage Vibes, which doesn't even have a metric yet, but I would not be surprised to see that there at some point. But we will get to that in just a moment. What did we have happen over the past week? Well, the most exciting thing I know you guys want to talk about, there was a unexpected stress test. Everyone was really excited about that. Kidding. I definitely did not get anywhere near the qualifying Q number there. I think I was about 30,000 off of it, but good to see that there were people with that level of interest still participating in just a base pack, right? What we really want to talk about is Run It Back, which dropped on Thursday this past week. Everybody was hyped to get their hands on these moments, myself included, and coincidentally, I actually managed somehow to qualify for the second queue. Not sure how exactly I did that, but I did. And what happens? Well, they go through Q1, of which Whale Shark we were able to talk into participating finally during Whale Hour. And as you guys likely had seen, he waited up despite the delays. It was 2 in the morning, and the odds were so slim that he would not get a pack. And sure enough, he did not score a pack. But it was all for good in that he was able to kind of emphasize that the process truly doesn't favor whales. Everyone had the same odds if they were participating to be able to grab a pack, and that he was excluded. So some positive messaging that came out of it, but man, that was tough to watch when that happened. I think the room collectively gasped when we found out that that was the end result. So hopefully we don't do that again. If we drag out the big man, it will be for a legendary or something of that nature. But after Q1, there ends up being some issue with credit card processing and people trying to purchase via credit card. They have to delay the entire drop. The remaining queues until the following day. I think there was a 12-hour push. They said they give you 12-hour notice, which means suddenly I was pushed out of my opportunity to get in on it, right? I was not able to participate. So I was actually, let's see if this is it. Yes, I was actually at Plymouth Rock on Friday with my family. So we're homeschooling little man. We actually brought him down to Plymouth Rock. We went to Plymouth Plantation. It was cool, blah, blah, blah. But I was not able to participate in the archive set or Run It Back, which was disappointing. But I did see a bunch of our community members were able to score packs and get some pretty sick pulls. I saw some LeBron, some AI. So props to you guys for being able to get in. There's been so many of these rares and higher tiered packs that we've been able to score, but just came out with a bunch of lesser desired moments. So it was awesome to see you guys have success in what you were pulling out of that. Taking a look at it, really, here are the top, valued moments that came out of it as of the marketplace reflection right now. Shaq being number one, probably because it's, double badge between the championship year as well as, his Top Shot debut. I'm really interested in this AI. So, I've been debating whether or not I would try to scoop that. There's some other interesting moments in here for sure. You have a Chris Paul rookie, you have a KG. I definitely like the Ray Allen in that he's in the Sonics uniform, but I have mixed feelings about Ray Allen from his departure from the Celtics. Likewise, the Pierce might be a cool moment to pick up, but I'm still debating if I want to participate in this. I want to see how the market starts shaking out and where the momentum lies. Conversely, if we look at low to high, some of these moments are right at the purchase price of people that snagged a pack. So it's good that they're not significantly below at this point, right? But the EV on these, it's just interesting. We'll watch how this shakes out. Rashad Lewis being the least desired, I suppose, of the market is interesting to me in that he has a Sonics uniform on as well. So I would think that would have some intrinsic value because of that. But we will see how that shakes out. And the archive set. So essentially rebound packs. People had an opportunity to scoop these. They were 19 bucks a piece. Had common moments from these throwback seasons. You can score 3 moments in there. Again, they were common, but there were some cool moments that you could get. Likewise, I think there's going to be one pack of these dropped for any run it back moments that people had already owned leading up to this drop. But here are, the current highest valued moments from that pack. This Chris Paul is pretty cool. You got a KG, a Dwayne Wade, a LeBron. So there may be something that you want to scoop out of here. They are pretty big mint sizes, so if that's what you're looking at, something to consider. But we will see how this plays out. There's a lot of different tiers coming into the market, right? And so if that's met with a lot of growth, it provides a lot of opportunity for people that are just being onboarded. If it doesn't, it's kind of a lot of dilution for these individual players when people are seeking them. So we'll see how this ends up playing out. And speaking of which, they announced this Vintage Vibes Dwayne Wade fandom moment. So part of their kind of historic fandom tier where people can participate. $9 each. You can pre-order that. They just went live today, and these will be delivered at the end of the month, I think on the 29th. People can purchase up to 3 of them. And then likewise, anyone who snags a starter pack is going to be given these. So there's going to be a ton of these Dwayne Wade vintage vibe moments out there. I think, like I've seen you guys talk in the community, the Top Shot community room here on the Whale Discord, that it's basically a serial number lottery, right? Someone's, thinking this is low cost to get in at a chance to get something that could be a special moment at a really low serial. So not sure if I'm even going to pre-order this, quite honestly. If I do, it's just from a participatory standpoint. I want to be able to take part in it and see what happens. But there's additional functionality that's supposed to be baked into these. There'll be giveaways, there'll be raffles for merchandise that you can be a part of if you have some of these moments. So if you're a big Dwayne Wade fan, which I am not, so maybe that's kind of tainting my perspective on this. If you are, then you likely want to take a shot at trying to score some autographed gear or whatever they're going to give away. But otherwise, it's interesting that they're going to put so many of these out there in circulation. What else did we have? We did also have the announcement that phase 2 of the trade tickets rollout is going to occur. So there will be another stress test. Again, this is happening tomorrow at 2 p.m. And the big exciting thing is you can trade in bulk. So 10 moments for 10 tickets. And with a lot of people looking to maintain qualifiers for the collector score and things of that nature, I'd be interested to see what their participation rate is in this, and who's going to want to do this, in that a lot of people had already experimented with the prior drop. But we will see. Again, as this progresses, that means we're getting closer and closer to the possible launch, which would mean an opportunity to trade in those tickets for those Series 1 that had been kept back for so long. So we're getting closer and closer to these. And then also, one of the more interesting things that happened over the past week is this announcement that legendary moments can now move to non-custodial wallets. So as of Friday, over the past weekend, people were able to move some of their legendaries to third-party wallets and platforms that are working with the Flow blockchain. So Vive, Blockto, external market capabilities, the ability to bring these outside of the topshot ecosystem and have them, marketed and sold and things of that nature. There's a lot of talk about what this could mean for fractionalization and DeFi and things like that. I think really it's a long-term play as they start to onboard more leagues and more, sports and some different opportunities for things. People can aggregate all of their Flow products into one wallet or to one platform, and that could mean something. Whether it means collectively you have a score that can do something to a greater ecosystem, or it's just to be able to flex and be like, look what I got between my NFL moments and my Top Shot and whatever else is on there, La Liga, UFC, things of that nature. So that should be pretty cool. One discussion that we've been having was, what does this mean for collector's score, right? So does this give us the opportunity to be able to move these into a place that it would be safe, where I wouldn't have direct access or someone else on the whale team wouldn't have direct access to the legendaries, but still be able to leverage the rest of the portfolio to do stuff like we've been talking about some of these showcase challenges and whatnot. We'll see. I think they're not really hashed out on how exactly we're going to use that yet. One other thing that was interesting over the past week is we did get notice that Kevin Durant and his boardroom organization joined the NBA Top Shot family. So he's going to be using his media platform to push and advocate for Top Shot in different ways. I think he's going to curate some moments, showcase some different things, and just have some more media reach directly from what is one of, if not the top players in the league right now. So it's great to see that expansion of their reach and true integration with the leagues themselves. That also excites me for the prospects of what they could possibly do once they get entrenched with the NFL and they kind of, move the same kind of methodologies that they've used in Top Shot and the NBA over to that and use what was successful. So, that gets me excited as far as their continued integration and what that could mean for the future of the other things they're going to do, including UFC and whatnot. And I did see someone mentioned in the chat as well. They had this Floverse event over the past week. I was not a part of it, so I don't know all of the details. But what I do know is they had a number of participation contests and giveaways and things of that nature. You could do different tasks to earn some different things, and one of the things was a mystery pack of Floverse, I guess, variety of assets that they have on their different blockchain platforms. And within those mystery packs, which kind of have the same aesthetic, similar aesthetic to when you rip a pack on Top Shot, people actually scored legendary NBA Top Shot moments. So legendary NBA Top Shot moments were just hanging out in these giveaway packs, randomly given to people, some of which may not even have been part of the NBA Top Shot ecosystem yet, right? So it was pretty incredible to see that go out. And if you look on Live Token, you can see some of the action here that had occurred with these particular moments. So interesting to see that go out. Obviously, people may have been participating a little bit differently had they known that that was a possibility, but I think there were some hints that the legendaries were possibly coming and something could come. That being said, there was a lot of discussion on this would never be possible because of loot box rules, right? You can't get a pack and just randomly have a legendary in it, but if people were not paying for it, it circumvents that, right? So it's not under the same guidelines as people buying something with the hopes of scoring essentially a lottery. Instead, this was given away. So props to whoever was able to score these, and certainly the community got excited and it was newsworthy. But on a related note, I actually just learned about some of these other ecosystems on Flow that use kind of the same NBA Top Shot delivery method of you get the pack, you don't know exactly what's in it, you rip it. And I actually found this a couple of days ago before I found any of this Floverse stuff, because Mrs. Nightmare had actually asked me about an artist that she had liked. I forget the name of the artist. It's down here. welder wings, right? So I checked it out and then saw this aesthetic here. You can, get these different packs, you rip it, it's mysterious what it is. It's dropped in limited edition, so you have to try to scoop it when it goes on release, and thought that was pretty cool. But this was my introduction this past week, that this even existed. So it's expanding rapidly, right? This is almost templated. We've seen it with CNN. We've seen different things with a lot of different platforms, that this NBA Top Shot type of delivery system and methodology with badges and challenges and things of that nature is being kind of white labeled for some other platforms to use. And I think we're going to see more and more of it. And so that's likely why this was so big for them, to be able to allow third party custodial assets to be on different platforms, and you take legendaries and things of that nature and aggregate them because of things like this. One other thing I did want to mention to you guys, because I don't know if you had a chance to see it, but over this past weekend, I had an artist fireside chat that was really cool with this artist. His name is Huckwerts. So Huckwerts, he is a senior designer and animator at ILM X Lab, formerly at Lucasfilm and Disney, and now works for the aggregate of them. Worked on Marvel, a bunch of movies, a bunch of stuff. Super talented dude. But essentially, he's been launching all of these NFTs for basically free, like zero mint cost, and no one knew why. Had all these different gamification elements like stats and this and that. So we got him on, we chopped it up, and basically what it came down to is he is a big fan of RPGs and gaming and the NFT space as a whole. And he said, I'm going to, because of my interest, I'm just going to build an NFT RPG from the ground up. And that's what he's been doing for months. So all of these different assets that he's come out with for free mints were to build up to this RPG game that he is launching. So it's super cool. If you want to take a look at it, again, it's Huckwerts. There's a bunch of stuff that you could just scoop for free that essentially are zero mint cost. For example, here is the CryptoCaf mercs, right? So there's going to be characters that you can play. There's going to be gear. There's going to be enemies and things of that nature. If you're interested in this type of thing, when gas is low and you want to scoop some, there's plenty still available here. Again, the cost is zero, but these are going to be gamified, right? So who knows if there's going to be a Web3 integration or it's going to be manual. But if you enjoy gaming like me, it could be cool to scoop some of these and participate. And again, there's a lot of cool different properties and stats for how this is going to be leveraged in the game. So I think the free mints that are still available are these mercs, which will be the heroes in the story, as well as these majestic moos, which are like house cards that give you attributes like the house that you belong to. It gives you bonuses in the game and all kinds of cool stuff. So check it out. He has a Discord. If you're interested in RPGs and gaming and things of that nature, you can scoop some of these for absolutely free right now if you wanted and participate. And again, I think he just dropped his gear set today, but this actually has a cost for some of them, $4.85. So obviously the goal of this person is to get people into what they're doing and to participate. But all that being said, had this interview, super cool. If people want to participate, they can. It's like no cost. They just want people involved that enjoy RPGs or whatever. And I had seen that, he was working with at one point Rizzle and some of the NFT 42 community, and they had made some hero cards, right? I said, man, that's super cool. I'm a bit jelly though. If you ever need a villain, I think Nightmare would be a pretty cool name. And that being said, he hit me with this. So I will be able to let chaos reign in this game. I will be a villain and able to jump into some and just, wreak havoc on any parties that are playing. But just goes to show the level of integration and enthusiasm that this person has for their project they're doing. So thought I'd share that with you. Free mint, if you're interested, scoop it. I don't know if it'll have value. I don't know if it won't, but I do know if you like RPGs, it's pretty cool stuff. One other thing I wanted to mention to you guys, I did mention it in passing in the room. If you didn't see it, you guys might remember the Space Jam drop that we all were able to scoop some, free NFTs. I actually checked out the market on these and they had some value. I think the four that I picked up for free were worth collectively $40 in my portfolio, right? So nothing earth shattering. But that being said, I didn't get any great moments. I think I got like three commons and one very, very low level rare Daffy Duck. Um, but they did announce that there is another drop happening tomorrow for the Goon Squad. So this was actually some of the NBA and WNBA players that were taking on characteristics of monsters in the movie. So there'll be different value tiers for these guys as well, but they're tied to an actual player. This is dropping tomorrow. There's two ways to get it. Either one, you bought a digital copy of the movie or something of that nature, or number two, which I was interested in, you can burn and replace. So if you have some junk moments from that drop from us trying to jump on and trying to score a bunch, you can burn them and see if you get a rare of one of an actual NBA or WNBA player. So I'm certainly going to give it a shot, especially seeing that some of the high level rares from the Toon Squad were going for good money, right? I'm talking like, I don't recall exactly. I think I saw near $1,000 for some different things. There was a LeBron in there as well. So worth a shot. If you have a bunch of commons in Space Jam, come here tomorrow, burn them, swap them out with one of these mints for one of these actual NBA or WNBA players, and you may score rare, and that could be significant, right? So other than that, I want to say props to the people that once again continue to show up in the prop bets. MJS is a machine. He once again won Thursdays. Happy to see last night Lady Warboss come through and put a bunch of us in our place. Lady Warboss, props to you for winning the Sunday night props bet. And here we have an absolute logjam at the top once again for who will be vying for first place. Rads continues to be in the mix every single week, even though he's on the committee. Maybe there's something sus there, maybe not. Maybe he just uses that absolute mammoth TV screen that he previewed for us in his picture with his son to really do some recon work. But love to see some different names get into circulation up here too. Tigbo making his return to the top, vying for the top spot. It may come down to tiebreakers tonight, right? Obviously. So excited to see how this plays out. I actually fell off, but briefly, if the Pats had come through yesterday, I would have been in really good position and possibly placing, despite missing the Thursday game because I didn't get in time. So a moral victory, much like the Patriots season. I'm trying to talk myself into it, but props to you guys who continue to just absolutely crush it. And most of all, props to the committee who's been absolutely carrying this with great prop bets, keeping everybody engaged. And I love the smack talk that I'm seeing every single week. So a lot going on, guys. I hope you have a great week. Lots to scoop tomorrow if you want to participate. Lots to scoop today if you're interested in Dwayne Wade, and a lot of exciting stuff happening here at Whale. So you guys have a great week. I'm sure we'll have more stuff to share and more mints and drops to talk about over the coming week. And if you haven't put in your prop bets for tonight, it is pinned in the Top Shot room on the Discord. Go ahead, hit the pin, put in your picks for this evening, and you may come across as the winner and score yourself $100 worth of Whale. Guys, have a great week.